Hey, Bethany.
Hello, Dean.
Bethany, okay, I have hypothetical questions to throw at you, multiple. But first, tell folks a little bit about you.
Okay, so I am a fractional chief marketing officer, and I started my own firm doing this actually in April of last year, April of 2024. And before that, I did in-house marketing in my family's manufacturing company, which is located just outside of Portland, Oregon. And I did that for quite a few years. And even though the company is in Oregon, I actually live overseas most of the year in Lisbon, Portugal.
Right on. Kind of love Portugal. Been a long time since I've been there, but I loved Portugal.
It's
Okay,
really
so
beautiful.
I bet, yeah, it is. Also, a lot of fish. You
Yeah,
can get
for
fish
sure.
almost any restaurant.
For
Okay,
sure.
so let's start with some type of hypothetical situations. Uh, First of all, it's your first day walking into a new client. Okay, first day, like
Sure.
virtually walking in some cases, right? Like
Sure.
what uh, uh as you think about like what the first day could be like, it's on one end of the spectrum it's like a nightmare scenario, and on the other end it's a dream scenario. What's the dream scenario, and what's the scenario for day one when you walk in and finally get to like view the landscape of what you're dealing with?
I would have to say a dream scenario is working with a leadership team who actually understands marketing, who
Mhm.
understands not only the challenges of it, but the upside of it. So they already believe in what will be my mission going forward. It just makes everything so much easier for me. Because if they understand the marketing, then they understand that there's going to be lots of changes going on in the company, that the end result of marketing is to improve sales, or at least that's the goal. And so with that, there are going to be changes in the company because as sales start to substantially rise,
Mhm.
the company will have to change to adapt that. Now, for a nightmare scenario, I would
Yeah.
say kind of the opposite. Coming in with the CEO who says, "Great, I'm so glad you're here. You have 90 days. I'm expecting a whole lot of you. I'm expecting a 20% grow in revenue over the next 90 days. Go at it, Bethany." And that just does that's not realistic. And so that is definitely a nightmare scenario. Also, coming in saying, "Oh, a leader saying, 'Oh, I'm so glad you're here, and but please don't change anything. Just grow the marketing. We just want to see more money coming in, but we don't want to change anything else about the company.'"
Right.
It's also going to hinder marketing's ability to perform.
All right. So next, hypothetical related. So let's talk about that CEO, right? Let's
Mhm.
say that it's day one. You may or may not have had some interaction with that CEO leading up to becoming a vendor. And like today, it's different, right? Now you're actual client vendor relationship. CEO
Yeah,
says, "Hey, so I've been around and I'm smart enough to know that you deal with a lot more CEOs than I deal with CMOs.
yeah.
Therefore, is there something I should start doing now to like help make sure you're successful, or is there something that I'm doing that I should stop doing so that you can move forward on that path instead of me?"
Something that they should start doing. Let's see here.
If there isn't anything, that's fine.
No, there is. Be ready to support the marketing department as it starts to grow and change really quickly. Give feedback if as a CEO you see something that the marketing is not doing correctly, or maybe we're portraying some aspect or benefit incorrectly.
Mm-hmm.
Quick feedback to fix that is really vital. And so yeah, that's what I'd say as far as supporting the CMO. And I'm sorry, you asked the second question there.
Is there anything they
Could you
should
repeat?
stop doing?
Oh gosh, yeah.
Easier answer on that one, huh?
I would say it's really vital that people stop seeing the marketing department as a cost center. It impresses me in not such a great way how many company leaders see marketing as an expense and not realizing that it's not an expense, it's an investment, and that in
Mm-hmm.
time the money will come back. And so please don't view the fees for doing marketing or bringing in the essential personnel to do the marketing as an expense instead of something that will come back in hopefully with positive results, hopefully fairly soon.
All right. Good answer. All right, new hypothetical. You're the speaker on stage. You're talking to the audience, 250 people in the audience. They all became fractional CMOs yesterday.
Sure.
They're like brand new, fresh out of the oven fractional. They've been like, they worked in corporate. Now they're on their own. Okay. Finish this thought. Um, you guys starting out as fractional CMOs, the thing you're going to be shocked by is what?
That you actually do need to learn more than just marketing. You actually do need to learn about your client's industry so that you can not necessarily be an expert in it, but at least be conversant in it. So when you join meetings, you know what's going on. You know what you're talking about when you're talking about marketing. You have to understand the product or service thoroughly in order to market it in a very effective way. Um, there's also you're going to have to be, as a new fractional CMO coming in, incredibly proactive. If you are the type of person in your life and in your career where you really just like to sit back and wait for work to come your way, this is not this is not for you. There's a
Okay.
tremendous amount of proactivity that goes into being a fractional CMO, leading, pushing, starting, and you have to be prepared for all of that.
All right. Good answer. Okay. So then you're still on stage. You're going to say, and many of your clients just do not understand what?
Most don't really understand marketing. So when you speak with people who don't understand marketing, it's best to put it into simplified terms, just so that everybody can join the conversation and be aware of what you are talking about. Don't use so much jargon. It's not helpful. It's not useful. It's not necessary. Um, yeah, I'll stop there.
Okay. Fair enough. Okay. And then we're going to get you off stage in a second, but this is the last part. So you're
Sure.
talking to this audience and you're saying, and one other thing, as fractional CMOs getting started, the main lesson I have to leave you as far as getting your next clients is what?
Ooh, you're going to have to do many things that you are maybe uncomfortable with, like networking and reaching out to people who you don't know and moving beyond just social media outreach on like LinkedIn. And you're going to have to even go around to everybody that you do know and say, hey, this is what I'm doing. Do you know anybody who could be a good connection for me? Could you introduce me? And it goes back to that proactivity. And, a lot of it can be uncomfortable if you're not used to it. And, if you're afraid to do things that you're uncomfortable with, this is not for you.
Well, there's a four-letter word for that. It's called sell.
Yeah,
Yeah.
precisely, precisely.
Okay, so you're talking to, over the course of your business, you're talking to lots of prospective clients anyway, lots of other people. Marketing is one of those things where a lot of people think that they know a lot about it, even if they've never worked in marketing. God bless
Yes.
them. And certain like ideas and tools and platforms and concepts, become trendy. And then, so what do you think right now as you talk to, like, let's say prospective clients, and they talk to you about marketing? What do you think is overrated and what's underrated? Like, what's really not appreciated yet or anymore that clients you think would benefit from paying more attention to? So what's overrated and underrated right now?
I think overrated is actually discussion of revenue.
Mm,
You can have a very high revenue, but if you don't have much of a profit, then
mm-hmm.
it's a little bit of a it's a little bit vanity to talk just about revenue. I think it's overrated. I'm much more impressed by a company that has high profitability because it means that not only do they know how to bring in money, but they also know how to manage the money to create profit at the end of the day. I also think that what else do I think is overrated? Overrated is also follow if you're doing social media marketing, focusing on just getting followers and likes
Mm-hmm.
doesn't necessarily translate into money coming into the company. And I think it can be rather distracting than taking a look at those people that are following you and liking you. Are they also buying from you?
And then what's underrated?
I would have to say the basic nuts and bolts of digital marketing, SEO, for instance. I've seen companies that have a very profound SEO, mechanism in their company, and they're quite profitable.
Hmm.
And I've seen companies that do a tremendous amount of paid advertising, and they don't focus on their SEO, and their sales just continue to decline. Moreover, the marketing just becomes more and more expensive.
Hmm.
Another nut and bolt that is unsung as a hero in my mind is email marketing. It is old fashioned, I know, but it's especially when you're talking about adding in some email automations like an abandoned cart series, or
Hmm.
a series for completing your forms to get leads in. These types of things can really just boost leads coming in and boost the business so much, and I think a lot of people undervalue how much they can add to a company. Also, just knowing your customer, consumer, client, and know what they want. That I think is underrated. A lot of people get really, really hemmed up by the excitement of things like return on ad spend because it's a data point, but just having a very deep understanding of who is purchasing from you is key, and I think it's underrated.
No, I agree on all that. Okay, so this is either the easiest question or the hardest question you're going to have all day.
Sure.
What is marketing?
It's like matchmaking in my mind.
Mm,
Yeah. So the matches between the company and the prospect, and you have to understand what both bring to the table, what both want, and you have to find a way for them to shake hands on a mutual common ground. You have to find ways to communicate to each other so that you understand what each of you want from the situation,
right.
and what your common goal is.
Okay, so as you're talking to prospective clients, you're talking to companies, right? That you might end up being the fractional CMO for. In your sales process, in your vetting process, what's like a green flag and what's a red flag as
In
you're
my
talking to those
vetting
folks?
Okay, in my vetting process, a
You know,
green flag is someone who my biggest filter in my early interactions with prospective clients is, do I like this individual? Do I think I can work with them? Do they seem respectful to me as a person? Do they seem respectful to their colleagues and their potential clients or customers? If they talk about wanting to, fool people into buying their product, that's not where I am. Or if they ask questions that make them seem like they doubt my ability to understand marketing, then
right.
it stands to reason they're going to doubt me the entire way through my collaboration with them, and I just don't care for that. And what is a green flag? What do I look for? People who show, the inverse of what I just said. People who show respect. People who value their clients, their colleagues, their business, and people who value what other professionals have to bring to the table. It's not just their way or the highway.
Those are good answers. Okay,
Thanks.
so you have an option here. We can skip this next question, or you can like tackle it. Um, you can ask me, or hypothetically ask the world any question you want. I might even try to answer.
Okay. What? Well, actually, no. I have an even more pressing question than that.
Oh,
Um,
okay. Pressing question. There you go. You've got many
yeah,
of those.
because I have been on a path to learn about AI, and I've just gone down the AI rabbit hole lately.
Hmm.
So, in marketing, how do you use AI? What
So
are your practices there?
there's the first advice I give people who want to are just getting into it and not even sure what they want to do. I tell them to go to a company called joinsecret.com. And
Okay.
Join Secret is not an AI company, but it's a company where it's like kind of like a bulk buying kind of organization. You pay them like for a premium membership. It's like $50. I don't forget what I got. And then you'll get massive discounts on a whole bunch of things. And one of the ones that just added is as a 1 year pro subscription for like $180, but you get it for free to a company called you.com, you.com. And
Hmm.
you.com is an aggregator. So you get a membership there. There's a free version if you want to try it out. And like, then they'll let you use just about every AI engine, or like all the major ones, all the ones from Facebook,
Hmm.
ChatGPT, Claude, the new one out of the open source one out of China, DeepSeek, right? They even that sort of membership for like the free for the first year, it's $180, but you get it for free. Even the one that ChatGPT, the O1 version, the one they charge you like $200 a month for, you can use it for free if you go through this discount. So I tell people, and you can set up all the agents and like projects and upload materials like sort of durably and have like durable prompts. Like, oh yeah, now I want to I want to do a marketing strategy. So you click into the little like project that you made there, and it's already got that stuff you like uploaded, your own templates and all that, and documents and whatever. And so that way you get to play around and compare all of the paid versions of stuff without having to pay, anything really.
That sounds great. Could you give me that name again?
Yeah, it's you.com. Oh, Join
YOU.
Secret is the one.
Okay. And that's
Go buy the
joinsecret.com.
premium membership at joinsecret.com. There's, by the way, they're always running a sale.
Okay.
So there's always a discount to use at joinsecret.com to buy their own thing. And then that gets
Okay.
you like free stuff. Yeah, I use Miro, which is like for those folks who don't know what Miro is, like a diagramming kind of like multi-tool.
Yeah.
Join Secret, I got like 8 years of the pro version for free. It's like something stupid like that. I got
Wow.
like the first. I'm not, like, I don't get anything. I don't have an affiliate relationship with this company. I don't care if you pay them or not. I don't make any money. But one of the things they do is they give you. I use most of my customers pay me via credit card,
Okay.
and there's a one-time thing there that I burn through pretty quick, that where it'll waive all of the credit card processing fees for Stripe on the first $20,000 or something.
Wow, that's pretty good.
Yeah, so it's like $500,
Yeah.
$400 or $500. It's like there's no way to lose money on Join Secret as far as I can tell.
Yeah.
Hmm.
Wow, that's pretty good.
But yeah,
Qu'est-ce que
you.com has all of them,
sounds
including
good.
that like super expensive one from ChatGPT where you ask it something, you can ask it very complex things. You can ask it to make very complex things. And it might take it'll take 3 minutes or so for it to finally reply to you.
Yeah.
That's how long it is because it's doing so much work. But then at the end of that, you get this like full thing. It's crazy how detailed and explicit it is about everything.
Yeah, I'll check that out.
So, but
And can I ask you another question?
yeah, sure.
Okay. So, let's see here. What is the most common mistake that you see fractional CMOs making in their work with their clients?
Oh, that's very easy. So, and I think I've said this before in the podcast, but we'll see. Uh, the single biggest, to me, the biggest mistake they make is not sort of like an execution or practice kind of thing. It's not understanding which business model they're operating on because they don't have a choice.
Mm.
So, broadly speaking, service companies, which every fractional CMO is a service company, right?
Hmm.
They're all either marketing led companies or sales led companies. And
Hmm.
you're a marketing led company if you sell, like I have a marketing led company. I sell a discovery workshop for positioning and figuring out what to say to people, to say to a
Hmm.
market, and then like two kinds of writing. And it's really just one kind of writing, but it's like there's a regular size and a small, and that's it.
Hmm.
So people they get a special ordering page, they go back and they can just buy more and re-up as they go, pay as they go. Use credit card, which is why Stripe, discounts was so nice for me,
Yeah.
right? I only sell two things. I sell A and I sell B, and B comes in regular size and small size. That's it. So I'm in a marketing company because I have productized services and I can just like promote the same things over and over. Almost every fractional executive, and especially the CMOs, but almost every they're in a sales led business, a high touch selling business. They need to talk to individuals who will like them enough and be impressed enough with that individual to give them money.
Hmm.
So many fractional CMOs, especially, they they're in a sales led business. They wish they were in a marketing led business. They keep spending money and time to try to find some secret, silver bullet, where like they're going to be able to like post something on LinkedIn and 4 companies are going to show up with a check, right? It does not work. No matter how much time and money you put it, oh, I'm going to hire a company that's going to write articles for me. Don't do that, right? That would be great for a marketing kind of business. You're not a marketing business. You're a sales business selling marketing services. It's really not the same thing. And you'll just fritter away your time and money. And at the end of the year, you're really no further ahead. Whereas you should have just got in front of a bunch of people
Hmm.
yourself as a person.
Yeah.
Yeah. So like so many of them will I can tell you the other thing, by the way, that frustrates me
Yeah, go
is
ahead.
that fractional CMOs are they're fascinating characters. They really are. And they like in the first 5 minutes of any conversation with any prospect or any client, they'll say, look, we need like a focused message. We need to figure out our positioning, right? We need to figure out niches. We need to figure out specific kinds of audiences we want to talk to and specific things we want to say to them, right? We need to like focus. And then they turn around, they talk to me, and I say, so like, what do you specialize in? Well, you know, I just want to work for any company on earth that has at least one person in it and wishes they had more sales. And I don't like to pin myself down. I like to leave money on the table. So I don't want to like specialize in just like they don't follow the very first advice they give every single client. And if it's good enough for the client, it's good enough for you,
Yeah.
but they don't want to focus. They don't want to position. They don't want to say no to most things and yes to a few. It's really fascinating psychology on how like,
Yeah.
and their clients are thinking, oh, I don't want to like niche down. I don't want to like specialize. And they're the ones promoting it. And yet they don't promote it to themselves. And it's just human nature. Every single human is biased and a hypocrite in some way or another. It's just way. Being adult just means understanding that you're a hypocrite and what you're a hypocrite about.
Yeah.
It's not that
It's
you're not a
interesting.
hypocrite.
Yeah, what's interesting is I go to a tremendous amount of networking events,
Yeah.
and we all do these like 1 minute introduction of ourselves, and
Mhm.
a lot of people, when asked who they want to work with, it actually doesn't even really matter the field. I would say 4 times out of five, yeah, anybody. I'll work with anybody. And like you just said,
Yeah.
if you want to work with anybody, you'll work with nobody because that's not how people see themselves.
Yeah.
So I completely agree with you. And yeah, that was a hurdle that I had to overcome. And it took me about 3 months to move past that and to really niche down and be much more specific about who I'm looking to work with.
Yeah. I tell people that once you truly understand that the market that you're trying to communicate into, once you truly understand that they don't care about you, it's almost like when you're at the doctor and you get the terrible news, you've got 6 months to live. On the one hand, it's terrible news. On the other hand, you've got a lot of fun bucket list stuff coming up
Yeah.
because you've got
Well,
a
yeah.
freedom because you've got a deadline. Once you
Yeah.
understand that they don't care about you, you don't have to worry about trying to fit everyone's expectations. I say, look, everyone in their mind, when they want something or they think they have a problem, let's say they go into their kitchen, right? Every cabinet in there has a purpose. Plates are here, glasses are
Hmm.
there, bowls are there, and then there's a junk drawer. And I say, it doesn't matter so much which cabinet you're in. Just don't be in the junk drawer because nobody goes
Yeah.
to the junk drawer first,
Yeah. That's true.
right? You can even create, this is the beauty of marketing. You can even create in their mind your own cabinet where you're the only one in it. And yet you still just want to be in the junk drawer, underneath the tape and like shoe insole inserts. Like, why? Don't do that.
It really it doesn't make sense. And it's the other thing is it's putting you as one tiny person in a very large pool. And if you are in a smaller pool, and it just becomes so much easier. And then you have a place where you can become a bit of an expert. And that's what
Yeah.
people want.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know. People are funny.
All right. Do you have
All right.
any
So
more questions?
yeah, there's one more question, and it's I ask it to everybody, but in your case, coincidentally, it's a follow up on something you just had. Who should be contacting you these days, and how should they do it?
I really love to work with companies that are in the startup phase and have received funding or are already
Mhm.
turning a decent profit. Love to work with companies who make at least 5 million annually in revenue. I know I talked about revenue earlier, but still, it's a convenient marker for this conversation right now. 5 million to about 50 million. I my background is manufacturing. I have more than 20 years of manufacturing, and my
Right.
heart is in health and wellness. So I serve both.
So health and
Um,
wellness companies or manufacturing, and like approximately like what to up to 50 million in revenue.
I'd say a minimum of 4 or 5 million, up to
Okay.
about 50 million. The reason for that minimum is just because companies need to have enough money to actually do the marketing, make
Yeah.
these investments. It's not enough just to pay for a fractional executive to come in and then maybe a technical person to need to actually launch the campaigns. You have to have money to do campaigns, to do paid marketing if it needs to happen, or if it's an event, to put on an event. You have to have that kind of funding to
Right.
go through.
Right. And then
Yeah.
what's the best way for people to get in touch with you these days?
There are a couple simple ways. One, just look for me on LinkedIn and then go ahead and message me there. And if you want more information about me, it's also there. And then also, tried and true way, just go ahead and send me an email and I'll get back to you
Mhm.
shortly thereafter.
All right. All right, Bethany, thanks for being here. These were great answers, by the way. Really good. That was fun. Okay, so then, thanks, Bethany, and thanks for watching. And if you watched the full episode, great. And but you're probably watching a clip. In which case, there's thousands of clips now. Go watch some more. And thanks, everyone, and we'll see you next time. Bye.
Thank you, Dean.